Hello and welcome to another video on my channel. So, becoming and being open about being a part of the furry fandom can be a hard thing for some people. Maybe they feel as if people might take the mick out of them, or perhaps they feel that their family will look down on them if they open up about their interests, especially when it comes to the furry fandom. So when going into the fandom, it can be a little bit daunting to know where to start, what makes someone a furry, or what some phrases mean that they may have heard commonly used around fandom circles. So today I wanted to help out with those things, as I list a few things that I think is helpful to know for people who may be considering getting into the furry fandom, just starting out in the fandom, or someone who's an 80-year veteran of the furry fandom and wants to either support a furry creator like me, or I don't know, just call me an idiot in the comments, whatever you want to do, I don't mind. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Fursonas are possibly the biggest part of the furry fandom, though if you don't have one, it doesn't mean you aren't or shouldn't be in the furry fandom. A fursona is a furry character created by an individual that reflects the creator in some way, shape or form. These links can be the way they are physically designed matching the creator, their personality reflecting the creator, or they can resonate because they represent the way a creator wishes that they were. There is a lot about fursonas that make them special or resonate with a creator. From personal experience, my fursona Ashen is an outgoing and energetic guy who loves to be the heart and soul of the party. I am not really like this in person. I'm quite introverted when it comes to meeting new people, but it's the way that I would love to be, and using him to represent me in my YouTube videos allow me to act in a way that I would feel I couldn't in everyday life, and makes me feel a bit more confident speaking in these videos and such. If you are someone who wants to make a fursona, I would recommend that you think of the animal that really resonates with you, if you want to go with a traditional species, or you could have a look around at some of the more out there species such as protogens, scullies or dutchies, though this isn't all of them. If you are an artist, you can do your own art of the character. However, for those who aren't, there are plenty of people who take commissions to create art just for you, though please check with the artist first, just in case their commissions are either full, or if you need pricing, or any sort of details. For the most part, if you're looking for someone on Twitter to commission art, check their bio, and if they have commissions open, then usually you're good to go. I love seeing new fursonas, so if you have one and you would like to share, please go to my Twitter. I'd love to see them. Just tag me in pictures of them or send me a message with them. That would be so cool. So fursuits are something that to some may seem like a bit of a weird thing in the fandom to wear. However, it really isn't that weird and is just quite cool really. Fursuits are a physical costume that furries can choose to own that represents either one of their furry characters or their personal fursona. Usually people do their fursonas though as fursuits. These suits are usually, if not always, commissioned by a fursuit maker. Fursuits are super cool and take a ton of effort and creativity to make, and almost always look phenomenal. If you go to a furry convention at any point in your life, it is 100% likely that you'll see some fursuits, or even if you just go to like a normal convention where there's cosplay, you will see probably one or two fursuiters around, and that's really cool. Sometimes they will gather for many other reasons out in public, so for example you could do fur meets or fur walks, and that's really cool too, and I've personally seen some walking around where I live and it's super cool to see them. Sadly, fursuits are quite expensive, but you will almost always get a product that looks really awesome. But of course, make sure you do your research before commissioning a fursuit. Some people, however, learn to make their own fursuits, which there is plenty of resources on YouTube and elsewhere if you want to make your own, from tutorials on how to make specific parts of your suit, or if you want a little bit of guidance on using materials such as the fur or the tools required to make your suit. I don't have a fursuit yet, sadly, but I would absolutely love one of Ashen, my fursona, who I've already talked about, as I think it would be really cool to see him brought to life as a suit, especially since he means quite a lot to me, and I think it would just be kind of super cool to see him in a fursuit. And some people who fursuit, wearing their fursuit and they become more like their character or feel more confident in that sort of form. And I think that's really cool that it can bring people sort of out into the way that they want to be, or make them more confident, or whatever, really. It's just a really cool concept that allows people to open up a bit more if they so want to. The big question is it weird to be a furry? And that's a question that comes up all the time when in sort of major general circles. There's a lot of misinformation about the furry fandom, and this is usually mainstream outlets that have only helped to make being a furry seem like something wrong or weird to be. I'm here to tell you that being a furry is not something to be ashamed of. The furry fandom really is much like any other fandom. It has its problematic elements, but by no means are these problematic parts a majority. Plenty of furries really are just normal people who love the fandom as much as anyone else who is part of other fandoms, such as a video game fandom. The more sensitive elements of this conversation is what to do when you want to be open about your interests to your friends and family. And this can be hard for some. Some families or friends will have preconceptions about what the fandom is. However, I think it's important to say that no one should feel forced to open up about the fandom if they really don't feel comfortable with it. I think that it is always good to be open about your hobbies and interests, especially considering that being in the furry fandom isn't really problematic. There's a lot of problems that seem to be brought up as like every furry does this, especially some of the more sexual stuff. Really, it's not the majority of the fandom, and a lot of people really just love the art and love their characters and going to the conventions and making new friends and whatnot. But please do not feel pressured if you really do feel uncomfortable about opening up about the furry fandom. It is difficult to talk about, and while it may be something easy for one person to open up about, others may find it really hard. So if you're in this predicament where you kind of don't know if you feel comfortable or not, in my opinion, I would say wait until you feel the most comfortable and you're ready to open up to your friends and family. There are some really great resources, especially on YouTube, to show to parents or family if you want to open up about that side of you. And some of the thumbnails are on the screen right now, and the links will absolutely be in the description. So if you do want to check those out, please go do so. They are really good and I totally recommend them. Just remember that liking furry stuff or being a part of the fandom is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. The fandom is really awesome and there's so much creativity and generally just a load of kindness around. So there is nothing wrong about being in this fandom. You are not weird, and if your friends or family go, "That's weird, we don't like you because of that," then I don't know what to tell you. Those people, their opinions don't matter when it comes to that if they're just going to put you down because of something you like. The furry fandom can be a bit of a daunting thing at first for anyone who may be dipping their toe in, but I am here to tell you, don't worry. There are plenty of resources around the internet that I think can help, on places such as YouTube and Twitter, as well as other places like Fur Affinity, where a lot of people post their own art or their fursonas. Creators I would recommend to people wanting to get into the fandom or are just starting would be people like Pakariru or Beta Eta Delota, who make videos exploring different aspects of the fandom, as well as their content being insanely entertaining in general. I will link them down below in case you want to go check them out, which you should definitely do. After watching this video, of course, please, I gotta scrape as many views as I can get in this day and age, especially considering my size. There's also plenty of super awesome artists and furry peeps on Twitter that are worth checking out. I'm sure I will have some of them up on screen right now, and I will have their links down in the description as well. This may seem obvious, but it is worth saying if you are under 18, please check a creator's bio before searching around, as some creators make NSFW work just like any other fandom. So please check bios usually, that's where it'll say NSFW or not, or perhaps their name, but yeah. So all links that I'm going to be adding down below are safe for any age and it's completely cool, so don't worry, I'm not sending you to some hardcore porn if you like are just sort of dipping your toe in and don't feel comfortable about that sort of art or whatever yet. The furry fandom is really an awesome fandom that for the most part is very welcoming to new people who want to be a part of it or who have an interest in furry stuff. And if you are someone in the fandom who's gatekeeping new people from it, then what are you doing? That's really dumb. Why are you stopping people from entering into the fandom that we love? Surely what we want to do is get as many new people in as possible and stop the stigma that furries are bad in any way. And if you are a new furry, then welcome to the fandom. It's awesome that you're interested in this stuff, and I really hope you take it further. Of course, if you want to, by having your own fursona, and who knows, maybe even one day you'll go to your first convention or even get a fursuit, and that's really cool. As someone who started the fandom, or started in the fandom much more recently, aka like kind of a year or two ago, I have just loved every minute of it, and it's one of the fandoms that I am so proud to be a part of. And there's so many amazing creators and artists around who just do crazy good work and are so welcoming and kind to each other, and that's just amazing. And it's definitely a fandom that if you are thinking about getting into it, definitely go check out some of these links below. Please go check out art. It's well worth getting into. And if it's not really your thing, then that's fine too. You do you. But yeah, thanks for watching this video about the furry fandom, and I really hope that you enjoyed. And more videos will definitely be coming soon, talking about more furry stuff, because that's all I do now. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye guys.